It's 2025 and Happy New Year is what we generally wish each other, but that seems to be a tough ask for anyone associated with the Indian men's cricket team at the moment. If there was ever a rocky, turbulent start to a year for Indian cricket, this would be it. The Sydney Test, the last test between India and Australia, is about to begin. The chatter leading up to this series decider is one, an unrest in the Indian dressing room and whether a test captain will be dropped for a final match in a series. And an important one, that against Australia in Australia. Yet again, India's ghost of the transition has come back to haunt them. A report in a daily seems to have exposed just how fragile the Indian dressing room seems to be. We all have seen the angry man in Gautam Gambhir, and if sources are to be believed, he was livid after the loss at the MCG boxing test. While he gathered the entire squad to give them a piece of his mind, going by what he said, he seems to have given certain players the stick. Rishabh Pant in particular seems to have faced the wrath of Gautam Gambhir, who said that India shouldn't dare to throw away matches under the excuse of playing your natural game. There will be consequences if that were to happen again. He seems to have given them a stern dressing down, making it clear that here on, team strategies designed by him needed to be executed. There is a plan in place, his plan, and that needs to be followed. Anyone who did not would pay the price. Now, if you understand Gambhir, this would not come as much of a surprise. His authoritarian speech doesn't come as a shock. But what we truly need to reflect on is the fact that this sensitive piece of information has been leaked to the media. That needs to bother fans and stakeholders of the game alike. That a piece of a conversation, a private conversation in a dressing room between a coach and his players has been made public. And that is unacceptable, making everyone talk of the possible unrest in the Indian camp ahead of what is the most important test for the Indian men's cricket team. Because at stake is not just the Border Gavaskar Trophy, but also a spot in the World Test Championship final, something India is anyway hanging on to by a slender thread. Gambhir, who came out addressing the press in the pre-test conference, was asked about the dressing down and the leak, and this is what he said.
Debates between a player and a coach should stay between them. Any conversations in the dressing room should stay in the dressing room. Those are just reports. I don't need to comment on any reports.
But the bigger storm that is brewing now is over a captain being dropped for the last test of a series. The interesting point to note was Rohit Sharma not coming for that pre-test press conference. Now, while I get it's not mandatory, it was strange considering this is the last test of a series that's going down to the wire. Gambhir was also asked a similar question, why he was there and whether Rohit was going to feature in that playing 11 at Sydney. Will a captain be dropped in what could be a historic move, to which Gambhir was more cryptic than clear.
Everything is fine with Rohit, and I don't think it's anything traditional. The head coach is here, that should be fine, and that should be good enough. We are going to have a look at the wicket and finalize tomorrow.
That vague answer said it all. He did not give any assurances of Rohit Sharma keeping his place even as a batter. The practice sessions too saw a few drastic changes and a few pictures there that really told the story. In the pictures of the net session, particularly pertaining to the slip cordon, KL Rahul, Virat Kohli, Nitish Reddy and Shubman Gill were seen having an intense slip catching session. The glaring absence of Rohit Sharma from that, who is a domineering presence in that slip area, was very obvious, making me connect the dots here, and that prompted many others to wonder whether a different captain would walk out to toss tomorrow. One of those comments, it surely looks like Jasprit Bumrah is acting like the captain. He was there, present, everywhere alongside Rohit Sharma during those net sessions, and particularly Gautam Gambhir. Of course, it all pointing out to Jasprit Bumrah stepping out to toss. And let's be honest here, Rohit Sharma has not had a good run, far from it. The runs column was drying up as is, but so was the wins column. Michael Clarke, former Australia captain, of course, says Rohit Sharma probably has earned the right to call time on his career and his captaincy by his own call. But it looks like legacy means little here. The pressure is mounting not just on the skipper alone, but the entire management and the head coach in particular to deliver a win in Sydney at all cost. Gautam Gambhir is in the direct line of fire, resulting in that impassioned, angry speech at Melbourne. Bumrah leading the last test at Sydney will mean a historic move by Indian selectors and the BCCI, the board. For the very first time, they have succumbed to the wave of dissent, the lack of performances, and decided to break that pattern that they have always known to follow by not just dropping a batter here, but a captain. That is huge. They're clearly putting the test and the series above personal milestones, ambitions, and the perfect send-off. Any reservations has been put to the side. The legacy of a team here is at stake, and BCCI seems to have realized that. The bottom line, India needs a win in Sydney. And bold steps needed to be taken. If that means entrusting youngsters with additional responsibilities, getting someone like Shubman Gill back in, which is what it would entail, and setting the non-performers to the side, as heartbreaking as that might be, so be it. Rohit Sharma, in that last press conference at Melbourne, said that decisions were made keeping the team at the heart of it and not the personal ones. And maybe that's what we'll get to see at Sydney tomorrow.